Hi, everybody. So today we're going to be doing interval identification, and I've created a website that I think is going to help you out in doing this, but I'm just going to give you a little bit of a navigation through this just so you can kind of understand how this works. So in Tone Savvy, we have something called interval identification, and I'm going to set all your parameters for this so that you don't need to do this, but just so that you understand what's going on. You're going to start by clicking on the treble clef. And in this case here, I'm going to take out two notes that are enharmonics that I think will be, that are not going to appear on our chord clock that we have. So I'm going to take out this one, and I'm going to take out this one. So E sharp and B flat. And apart from that, I'm going to hold on to everything else that's here, and I'm going to go start the quiz. So when this starts up, you'll see that it's got an A and a B flat. And you'll see that we've got a number of choices here for the interval number and a number of choices for whether or not the interval is major, minor, or perfect. Now, in our previous lesson, we had done generic intervals. And so we'd already decided whether these were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we kind of are familiar with that. But what we're not familiar with right now is whether these are major, minor, or perfect. So we have an A, and it's followed by a B flat. So let's go over to this website that I've created for you. And you'll notice this says that this is the Interval Chord Clock website. And in this case here, we're identifying intervals, so we're in the right place. So if we click this little down arrow, you're going to get some instructions. And it says here, at the top of this page, click the first note, the bottom note, of the interval you wish to identify. So in our case, we're looking at an A. So back here on the chord clock, we're going to go to A. All right, it's going to bring this up. Let's go back and read the rest of the instructions first, though. So it says 2, locate the letter name of the second interval, the upper note, you are given on the staff. In our case, that was B flat. 3 is take note of how many minutes, i.e. half steps, they are apart from one another. And it starts at 5 minutes and it goes all the way up to 55 minutes. Number 4, refer to the chart to the right of the chord clock. And number 5, you have now identified your interval. So let me walk you through how that goes. So we do know that the interval first is A. So we're going to click here on A. We know that the second note that's there is B flat. So if I look on the chord clock, I can see here is B flat. Now remember, B flat is also known by its enharmonic, A sharp. But in this case, we've been asked for B flat. So basically, that's 5 minutes on the clock. So if I look over here at 5 minutes, you can see it says here minor second. So if I go back to here, the interval clock, and I say that that's a second, and yes, indeed it is, it's right, and it's a minor. And look at that, I got it right. Let's try one more here. So we have F. Let's go back to the chord clock. We'll click on home. Okay, so remember, if you need the instructions, they're here. You just expand that. So the first note was F, and the second note was B flat. So let's go back to our chord clock. Let's click on F. Here's F at the top here. And our second note was B flat, and that's down here. So that would be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 minutes. So if we look down here on the chart at the right, we've got 25 minutes. That's a perfect fourth. Okay. Now in terms of half steps, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 half steps. So 5 half steps is the same as 25 minutes, which is also a perfect fourth. So let's try that. Fourth, perfect, got it right, perfect. Okay. Now this next one here is an interesting case because notice this is the same note twice. So if we click back here, you'll notice that there's an option that it's not listed here, but it is listed here. So there is something here called a unison. Now this note that we needed to identify was B flat, so let's click on B flat. And basically when we get B flat, that's 0 minutes, and so that is a unison. Now if this was 8 notes apart, if this was an octave, B flat low, B flat high, okay, we'd circle all the way around the clock and we would have an octave. So the thing to realize with those two things is that the quality of both those is perfect. So we go octave. Oh, sorry, this was a unison. And we go perfect. Okay, and that was right. So if that was an octave, you would click octave and it would also be perfect. Okay, so unisons and octaves are always perfect. And when I finish this chord clock, I'm going to have that down in the footnote there just to remind you. Okay, I hope that helps. Thank you very much.